So this is a review of the Anchor School Board. So again, just to kind of summarize some things, this is 3.5 hours. I personally believe they could have actually hammered out most of this talk within an hour, hour and a half. I did not see a reason for this to go on for 3.5 hours. That is just my point. I could be wrong. I'm going to take that criticism. On top of that, the Anchorage School District still has a $68 million deficit budget, meaning they are in the red. They owe more than they make, basically. On top of that, there's going to be severe changes into the way that teachers are going to be working with kids as far as teaching them curriculums. The kids are going to be doing a different style of testing, where they test actually 3 times a year instead of, I think, the fall and the spring. So that's another thing for parents to understand. And this also goes into just reading proficiency, math proficiency, and just literature proficiency, like able to write as well. And that being said, there's very key points in this video that I'm going to be bringing up because I think it is very vital for people to understand and know. And I'm still under the weather, so if I do cough, I do apologize. The president of the ASD School Board, Miss Bellamy, she hits on some points in a kind of just to bring it up. And those points are, she wonders why white kids are doing better than black kids. Pretty wild. It's a very derogative and very, I would say it's very incendiary to a conversation, because you're pitting one against the other. And I find that very appalling. It's not very forward driven, and it really doesn't get to the basis of why is that. It doesn't even establish any sort of. It doesn't establish anything that would be helpful for the black kids. It only makes it to where the black kids will see the white kids as must be nice kind of thing, to where it will build a system of resentment, anger, and hostility. I didn't see there was a place for it. On top of that, they then piggyback into the transgender, being in the school, stuff like that, safe places, so on and so forth. Let me see if I can find that one.
Below target. Letter sound and phoneme.
The rigor is higher now that we are in year 2 of our 5-year plan. It's 3 rows. The below
slide 5. We're all, if I'm reading this correctly, all of our groups are below target, except for maybe 6, 7. And I guess what do we account? Why is that? I mean, what's happening in the say well, I can figure out what's happening in the non-economically disadvantaged group. They're doing pretty well. So is our white students. But
and
so what do we have
that
to do?
Right there, and that's at 17 minutes and 5 seconds. If you can't see it on my screen, I will just have in the comments for that, because, and I'll write that down to make sure I do put that in correctly. Need a pen. Ooh, pen broke, whatever. I can still use just the 17 minutes, 5 seconds, white and rich, I guess, and we'll say, I guess, stable income versus black. Because, and I say that to go against her, because that's insane to because quite frankly, Alaska Natives, American Indians, and Hispanics and Hawaiians, Native Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, are below black people as well. As far as being above the benchmark, they're not. So that was very, as I said, incendiary. It was very. It's for saying you're being progressive. That's not progressive to outlook this. And then actually further into this whole 3.5 hour video, they then go on to talk about how they're going to be switching from peaks, which is something that every parent is on. Let me see. So they're switching from peak, which is what we use already, and then they're swapping to AK Stars. It's a new program for Alaska, but it is not new in general. So, thought I had it up. And this is where they do, and it's called the Danielson Group, is who actually helps formulate it, map it out, and so on and so forth. Let me see if I can find. What was that other one called? AK Star Program. There's actually a group that is in charge of it. That's what we're calling it, but there's actually a program that's already there. And it's formatted by doctors, professors, counselors. The thing about it is, NWEA, I think, is the actual. What is it? And here it is. So this is what it actually is. Research-based nonprofit organizations support students and educators worldwide, create an assessment and learning solution that precisely measures growth and proficiency and provide trustworthy insights to help tailor instruction. This goes good and bad, and this is what I have to say about it. So at my house, I do a thing called IXL. I'm not getting paid for this. This isn't me getting any type of, they're not paying me to say IXL, but this is specifically what I do with my children. So you can do families, classrooms, school districts. I don't know why we didn't look into doing this, considering I brought it up to the school, because it does math, language arts, science, social studies, and then Spanish if you want to. Of course, you don't have to, but this is just for me. And you can do state standards, so whether it be Alaska, Hawaii, Florida, Maine, California, and Nevada, wherever you're at in the United States, you have it set to the skill set that the your state standards are. That way your kid doesn't fall behind. That way you're on track, and that way you're not just kind of flying by the seam of your pants to help your kid or kids. What is that? I have 2 kids, so you can do single subject, combo pack, math, language arts. I spent money on this one, and I paid the yearly, and I had 2 kids. It was $200. So $200 for 2 kids. You pay it up front. That's like 2 dinners. So for me and my family, here in Alaska, it's for us to go out. It's about $60-$80 where we like to go. I'm a penny pincher. I like hole in the wall places to eat. I like my kids to kind of experience foods that are diverse, I guess. So this would take us maybe I would say 3 times out to go eat uh, in a month. So I mean, if you can see yourself spending money going to movies, bars, just outings, and you can, it's easy to save $200. I wish I could be a little bit nicer about that, but for your kids, just like I look at my own, my kids are my business. If my kids are doing poorly, I failed as a business owner, and that's how I look at it. Um, and the school district doesn't look at it that way, and I find this very scary and alarming because yes, we want to help the kids in a way to be socially responsible, but facts are facts. They go to school to learn how to actually be able to survive out in the real world, to establish themselves, and to be able to make it, their way, to understand uh, that the world's not fair, life's going to be tough. Um, what you put in is what you get, and not everybody's looking out for you. Those are the things that I was taught when I was going to school. I had a teacher look at me like, look, you fall asleep in classroom, I don't care. It's your grade. I'm not going to keep waking you up when there's 25 other kids that are willing to keep their eyes glued on the whiteboard. They're willing to write down the information. They're willing to move forward. That's the one problem I have with this. That is the biggest clutch that is missed on this whole thing, is talking about how teachers need to bear all this weight, how the kids aren't able to keep up. Kids are incredibly smart. They like to act stupid because they don't want to do it. And that's the crazy part that I find bewildering. You give a kid a tablet, they know what to do. They know how to get to an app. They know what to type in. They know what to look for. They know even what to say. And that's the pressure I put on my kids. And then guess what? They start to perform better. When they know there's an expectation set, they understand the bare minimum of what they did last year or even last month will not be acceptable this month, this year. And that's the part that I personally believe the school board, all the people in these executive positions are missing. They want to cater to kids so much that there's no pressure. There's no fire under their feet. That is a mixing pot of destruction, no self stability, no self integrity, no self respect. When a kid is going to be coddled, that knows how to perform tasks that you couldn't even do 10, 15 years ago, like computer programming. Like kids now can understand how to code. They understand how to bypass websites on school computers through an IT field. Kids aren't stupid, and that's the part that through this whole thing, continuously they keep looking at kids like they don't know what to do, like as if kids don't know how to learn. Now, mind you, obviously mentally disabled, as a household, stuff like that. I'm not negating it. I'm not putting it down. I'm not putting it away. But kids are smarter than what these people are talking about, and that's a problem. If you push a kid to be responsible, if you push a kid to do better for themselves because you believe they can do better, they will. But the thing is that through this whole conversation, they feel that these kids need to be shielded, protected, put in a glass bubble. Teachers need to figure out what each and every kid needs. Each and every kid needs a Peter Pan type of person. A person that's willing to say, I believe in you, you can fly. And they're not. They're the opposite. They're the pirate guy. I totally forgot his name. I just blanked out. Peter Pan. The movie. wants to grow one. Forgot the clock guy. Mr. Darling. Who's the croc guy? Who's the croc guy in Peter Pan?
According to Wikipedia,
Captain Hook.
Captain James Hook is a fictional character and the main antagonist.
That's it. It's Captain Hook. And the teachers are Captain Hook. They believe they need to be taken somewhere else. They believe that what you believe in is not going to help them, and so on and so forth. And it's just ridiculous. And that being said, that is a problem with this whole thing. I don't like how they piggybacked off of saying black people and minorities have it tough. And what they did then is they jumped on to trans rights, LGBT, how those kids are defenseless, how we need to up that ante. And quite frankly, we need to leave politics, we need to leave people's sexualities out of classrooms, because sexuality does not make you smarter at math, it makes you able to write, so on and so forth. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to keep watching more. I'm actually creating documents to where I'm going to start pushing this out to where parents need to be in the know. They need to be aware, and then to even be able to help you teach your kid maybe how to be better, and also teach me how to be better. I don't know everything, and I know I don't, but I'm willing to learn. And that's the part that I don't see from the Anchor School Board, is they're not willing to learn. They're not willing to hear people out. They just say, thank you for talking, have a good day. And it's blasphemy, to be quite honest. So thank you for listening. Subscribe. If you have any comments, whether positive or negative, send them in. Peace.